Brooke here. How's your day going? I had to do a chit chat, get ready with me using my Shop My Stash products. I've been kind of digging into this bag a lot, using all the different products in kind of different ways to get to know them. So I just wanted to sit down here today and talk about stuff that has been kind of on my mind and get ready for the day with you using my Shop My Stash products. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start with prepping. I've actually been watching a YouTuber. He's actually a pro makeup artist. His name is Robert Welsh. He is a pro makeup artist, and he I really like, he does reaction videos to influencers doing their makeup, which can be a little controversial, but I really love the insight that he has. And he was talking about how no one ever shows their skincare, which I totally agree. They're always jumped right into foundation. What I seem to forget is that skincare is the most important part of makeup. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually doing my eye cream. I'm going to do my skincare on camera as often as I can because it is so important. So I'm using my CeraVe eye repair cream. So I'm just applying that right now. I'm going to apply a moisturizer, e.l.f. Natural Glow Lotion. I'm going to apply that. And because I just want to show that it is really important to prep your skin for anything you put on top. I really like this lotion. It smells really nice, and then it's pretty glowy, and it's really inexpensive. I have probably repurchased this lotion probably 3 or 4 times, and I just really like it, especially for the price. Also, what they forget to kind of show is time in between layers. So skincare, let it sit. I'm going to go ahead and go into doing my eyebrows. I'm going to do everything on camera today. Probably speed up this eyebrow time right here. I wanted to show on camera. So there's my eyebrows all done. We're going to go ahead and prime my eyelids. Now I'm going to prime my eyelids. I'm going to use my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. And I'm just going to apply that with my finger and kind of just gently tap it in. So as I'm doing my makeup today, I did want to talk to you about kind of my experience and how I feel about this whole Shop My Stash series. I actually have been really liking it. I'm so glad that when I sit down to do my makeup every single day, I have a bag of things that I know I want to try out, and it's actually helped me a lot because I'm not kind of just going all over the place and just trying all sorts of different new products all the time, but really concentrating on certain products. And along with trying out new products, I am paying more attention to how my makeup wears during the day, really looking in mirrors and looking up close to my pores and just seeing how everything is wearing. Just putting makeup on my face, but I'm actually like really looking at all the different products to see what I like, what I don't like, which is what I've wanted this series to be about, is really looking into my collection and finding out what I like. What works well for my skin type, what looks good with my skin tone, what products I like more than other products, because I want my collection just to be products that I really enjoy using and not just an abundance of products that I don't really know if they work for me or not, but everyone else is using them, so I want to use them. I really want to concentrate on just products that make me happy. I'm going to jump around between talking and telling you about the products I'm using. Go ahead and go into my Revolution Selfie X palette. I'm going to be doing a look that I did earlier on this week. It was a really cool tone, shimmery eye. I thought it looked really nice. And it's kind of cool because, so I'm sorry, I'm going to go into this little kind of cool tone, grayish tone. So a couple weeks ago I was talking to a friend, and she was talking about how everyone always just use warm tone eyeshadows. or products on her face, on their face. And she said, you know, because she has really platinum hair and her skin tone, and that warm colors, warm tones don't look good on her, and that it's really been hard for her to try to find cool tone products. And I had never really thought about it because I do use a lot of warm tones also, so I never really thought about it. So then after we talked, I went home and I started looking in my collection, and she is so right. I mean, even in my collection, I don't have very many cool tones, and if there is a palette with cool tones, it's like 1 or 2 shades. It's not the entire palette. So ever since she said that, I have been playing with more cool tones, and I've been loving it. I've been using more purples. I've been using more grayish type tones, and I really love how it looks. And it is kind of crazy because then I went through my blush collection, and blushes are so hard to match with cool tone looks. Because everything's so pinky, everything's so warm. Warm terracottas was kind of the color for 2019 for blushes, and those don't look good on cool tone. I can go into this brown down here. And then the brushes that I do have that look cool tone, and I would apply it, and I'm like, that's not cool tone. So then I started swatching more and more of my products on my hand and realizing that things look so much different in the pan than they do on my face. So I don't really agree with swatching for eyeshadow. I don't think it tells you how it's going to blend or how it's going to look. But what I do think swatching can be beneficial for is really being able to actually look at the undertone of the color. Because there are a few blushes in my collection that look like they're supposed to be cool tone, and then I swatch it and they are so warm. Like when if it's Dallas, if you look at it in the pan, it looks super cool tone, like almost like a contoury type color, and then you swatch and it's really warm, which is so strange to me. But she's so right that it is really hard to find good cool tone blushes, well, and eyeshadows. So I'm so glad she kind of brought that to my attention, because now I've been looking at it and playing with more cool tones, and I just really like it. So I'm just blending these colors up into the crease until I get the blend I want and the color tones I want. Just kind of blending, and then I'm going to go into, let's see, I'm kind of jumping between all 3 of the palettes that are in my Shop My Stash. I hope that's okay. I know normally I like to grab one palette, do one eyeshadow out of that palette and not jump around, but because these are all 3 in my Shop My Stash, I really want to give all of them an equal amount of time of play. So I thought it would be okay if I kind of just jump around into all the different palettes, because it gives me more of an opportunity to figure out how they wear. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the Colourpop Chasing Rainbow, and I'm going to grab this cool tone gray down here. It's super pigmented, so that I want to use that in my outer corner. So also what I've loved with this Shop My Stash is, instead of wanting to go out and buy new products, I'm so excited to use what's in my collection, which is really what I want 2020 to be. I've heard lots of videos on a no buy or a low buy, or, you know, really just using up your products, and that's kind of the direction I've been going with the YouTubers I watch. I do watch a lot of YouTube. I used to watch a lot of different like hauls, new releases, and will I buy it and everything. Well, I've kind of steered away from that because I just feel like there's been so much coming out, so many products, and I'm starting to get kind of bored with all the new releases. I feel like it's kind of the same old, just different packaging, which is irritating. But also, I feel like you get so caught up in new releases and new products that you forget what's in your collection. And I mean, that kind of sucks, because then you're not getting use out of what you've already spent your money on. You're just adding more and more and more. And this YouTube channel is not going to be about all the newest grand releases, because I don't care to purchase all of them. You know, I definitely do get excited about releases. I can see I do follow Trend Mood's Instagram. What she does on her Instagram is she talks about all the brand new releases coming out. So I do follow that. So I get to see new products coming out. But I'm just started getting bored of them because they're all the same. Like Nars, I really like Nars products, but every single collection is like the collection that they just came out with, just different packaging, and it's getting ridiculous, really. I feel like most releases are kind of money grabs anymore. I feel like companies are just pushing out products because they're wanting to make money, and it's not about the creative aspect behind the product. It's not about benefiting their their brand. It's just about making money, and it's kind of sickening, to be honest. So I'm so excited that I've kind of come to this conclusion of using what's in my collection, wanting to have a collection full of products I actually like, not going out to buy products just to buy products and review them, but to really get the use out of what I have in my collection. And then as I use things, I can start, you know, either getting rid of it because I didn't like it or it doesn't work for me, and I have sisters and friends I can give it to, or just using it up and being done with it. It is such a fulfilling feeling to use a product up completely. Like I have my like my Wet n Wild pressed powder. It's not the best powder in the world, but it is really nice, especially for the price, and it's almost gone. And that is so exciting to me, and that's such a better feeling to know I'm using up my products and not just buying more, and actually just getting my money's worth out of things. I am not hating on anyone who wants a huge collection. That's great, but that is just not what I want, and that is not what excites me about makeup anymore. What excites me about makeup is I'm using the Eclipse color down here. It's a really beautiful shimmery taupe color. What excites me is using my products and knowing exactly how I feel about every single product, and not using something once and say, oh yeah, I really like it, and then moving on and never using it again. That gives me anxiety. So I've just really been excited about this series I'm going to be doing it in 2020, and it's not like I'm not going to buy makeup at all in 2020. I definitely will, because I do love makeup and I want to start this YouTube, and I do want to be able to review some products for you guys, but I only want to buy things I'm really excited for, and not just because it's releasing and it's new. My video stopped recording, and I'm not sure where I stopped recording, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of just start up where I am. I just finished my eyeshadows. I hope that showed on my last video. Also, I primed with the YSL Touche Éclat primer, which is the one I've been using, and I found the best way to use it is with the Born to Glow foundation. The primer is not my favorite, but it does smooth out the skin, kind of fill the pores, and I found with the NYX Born to Glow foundation that it was just a little heavy. It does have a really nice glow, but it's a bit heavy on my skin, so with that primer it really helped it not to sink into my pores. So then now I'm applying my foundation. I am so sorry. I'm applying my foundation, put it on the back of my hand. I've been watching Robert Welsh, and I'll link his YouTube video or his YouTube channel down below, and he is a really good makeup artist. I really like listening to his tips and tricks of makeup application. So what he suggested is to apply the foundation on the back of your hand. That way you can really control how much product you actually get on your face, because you don't need a whole lot. Really, the less you apply, the better. So I'm just going to blend that into my skin where I need it, where it's just a tiny bit too dark for me. It fit me a week ago, but as the sun refuses to come out, my skin just gets paler and paler by the day. I like that this foundation does have a decent amount of coverage. It's not super high coverage, but it is more high coverage than some of my other foundations. So it does wear pretty nicely with that primer, and it wears a little bit longer than some of my other foundations might. Next, I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm using my Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I have two concealers in my Shop My Stash. This is one of them. The Milani one is another one. And out of the two, this one is definitely probably my favorite. I'm going to apply this one. I'm also going to use Robert Welsh's trick for concealer. He said, you know, one dot there, one dot there, one dot there, one dot there. So that is what I'm going to do. I don't want to apply too much concealer, so I wanted to try his technique. So he said, tap in out here until you get the coverage that you want, and then take it all the way across, and then tap out right here. And with using your fingers, you're really warming up the product and kind of meshing it in with your skin better than with brushes or than a sponge. Alright, so there's that concealer. I'm going to apply a tiny bit to my nose because I do have some redness peeking out. A tiny bit on my cupid's bow and a tiny bit on my chin because I have redness there also. And then I'm going to go ahead and just blend that out with a tiny little Luxie brush. I like this because I feel like I like a smaller brush because I feel like it keeps the pigment where you put it, and then you can just kind of tap it out and it blends into your skin. I don't want to buff it because I feel like that could disturb the foundation underneath. So I'm going to let that concealer and foundation kind of just settle into my skin before I powder it, because I want to see what my skin is going to do with the foundation and concealer before I powder it too much, and just want to see how well it's going to kind of sink into my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a bronzer. I'm using my Milani Baked Bronzer in Soleil, and because my face is a little bit darker than my body, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bronze up my neck and my chest, which is my favorite thing to do when my foundation is too dark for me. I just like to use a bronzer on my chest and my neck, whatever is kind of showing that day. The bronzer kind of perfects my skin and then also helps with the tone matching a little bit better. I'm going to bronze that up. I'll probably bronze my shoulders since they're showing also with the shirt I'm wearing. And then there you can kind of see that the tone just matches a lot better, and it's a lot less cakey than if you were to take foundation all the way down your neck and onto your chest. Pressed powder, which is the BareMinerals. This is the Translucent Powder Duo. This is my Shop My Stash, so I've been trying to kind of use this up, get to know it a little bit. So I'm going to just tap my little brush into this and just gently, very gently, set my under eyes. Not a ton of product, because I just don't want to add a whole lot of powder anywhere on my face. I'm going to go ahead and use that matte powder on my nose, around the creases of my nose. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. A little on my cupid's bow, and take a bit in between my eyebrows and set the concealer that I put on my forehead. Next I'm going to go into some bronzer. I'm going to use my number 4 Golden Sands, which is my collection, which I have absolutely loved this bronzer. This month. I feel like it is just beautiful. It blends really nicely into my skin, and it is light enough to work on my pale skin right now. Adding a bit of warmth to my skin, not a whole lot, just enough to kind of warm up the parameter of my skin. Next we're going to go in with blush. I have found that works really well for me. It's a little dark, but if you use a light hand it can look really nice. So it's the Nars Sin Blush. So it looks really intimidating in the pan. Any blush can work on anyone. It depends on how much you apply and if you use a light hand. So I'm going to use a kind of a smaller fluffy brush and get a more diffused look. So I'm just applying just a little bit to my brush, kind of brushing it off, and then applying it right above my bronzer. Such a small amount of product so that I don't get too much, and then I can always add more and build, but taking away is really hard. Now I'm going to do a highlighter. I'm going to bring out my Colourpop Lunch Money, which is in my Shop My Stash. I'm going to tap that on to just the high points of your face. And Robert Welsh really made a good point that not everyone should highlight in the exact same place everyone else does. Your face is different, the shape of your face is different, and he made a really cool point that when you tilt your head and you see the light naturally reflect off of certain parts of your face, that's where you should highlight. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have some reflection here and down to about here, and then my inner corners, a little bit on my forehead, and then of course my cupid's bow. So that's where I'm going to highlight. I'm going to kind of tap it at the end of my eye and then kind of bring it down and tap that in. I really love this highlighter. It is beautiful. Gently tap so I don't disturb the foundation or the powder underneath. A little bit on the tip of my nose and a bit on the bridge of my nose, in between my eyebrows. Cupid's bow. Chin. Above my eyebrows. am going to use the same highlighter that I used on my face and my inner corners. I feel like it just kind of brings all of it together. And then on top of that, because I do like to be a little extra with my highlighter, I'm going to grab out my my Colourpop Disney Designer Collection Horse and Carriage Pressed Highlighter. And I'm going to just tap into that very gently and apply that everywhere I just applied the other Colourpop highlighters. I think Colourpop has a really great formula for highlighters. Now I'm going to do underneath my eyes. I'm going to go into my Soph palette, and with that first cool tone light gray I used, I'm going to just tap that into the same brush that I used for my nose contour and go underneath my eyes. I really like this brush because I feel like it's nice to get a large area, but very lightly and not too much because it is a bit fluffy. So apply that to both sides. Taking it up just a little bit to match the crease colors. And then I'm going to go into this middle color, which is a bit darker, quite a bit darker. Definitely not an everyday look, but it is really kind of a unique, cool tone smoky eye that I have just been really enjoying the last couple days. Because I want to be a little extra, I'm going to put a little bit of brown eyeliner in my waterline about halfway in. Not all the way. I'm going to leave this part right here really open and really light so I don't close off my eyes and make them look smaller. Just going to curl my lashes right now with my lash curler. This is my Essence Lash Princess Mascara, the purple one, which is the Sculpt and Volume. This is a beautiful mascara. I really do like how it makes my eyelashes look, but it flakes so terribly. So if you don't like flaky mascaras, which I'm not sure who does, I would probably not go for this one. I do want to try some of their other mascaras because it does make my lashes look really nice. So now I'm going to do my lips. I'm going to use my Colourpop Lumiere liner, which is in my Shop My Stash, which is dwindling every single time I use it, so that's great. I'm going to line my lips just kind of gently. I'm going to go into my Jeffree Star Mannequin liquid lipstick. I'm going to use my e.l.f. Plumping Lip Gloss. It's not my favorite lip gloss. I think after this month I probably will declutter. It's almost gone anyways, and it's quite old, so it might even be expired. I'm not really sure. But I will apply that on top because it is really pretty. Just doesn't wear very nice. Alright, so there is the finished makeup look using some of my Shop My Stash bag. I hope this video kind of encourages you to look into your own makeup collection and maybe pull out things you haven't tried in a while, or really just pay attention to what you're using, what you like, what you don't, and maybe you don't need the new product that just recently released. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel. Also, give this movie a thumbs up. Push the notification bell, that way you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. I'm trying to upload about twice a week, and I will catch you on the next video. Alright, thanks guys.